do tonight to you. The words that we speak will be in your honor. The acts that we do, dear Lord, will all be to give you praise. All this I ask in your precious name. Amen. You know, my father always said he wanted a minister in the family, so we didn't say what kind of minister. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to the Golden Grove Primary School. Good evening, Ms. Messiah. Let me use the opportunity to acknowledge here at the head table with me my cabinet colleagues, led of course by the Honorable Gaston Browne, Prime Minister. Seated to his right is the Attorney General, Sir Steadroy, Cutie Benjamin. And of course, on my left, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable EP Chet Greene. I want to start, first of all, by thanking you for once again being a part of this engagement. Those of you who live and reside and follow the happenings in St. John's Road South will know that this is not the first time we have had a town hall meeting. I think this is about the fourth or fifth time. And one of the reasons why I find it important that we have these meetings is that it gives, certainly me, an opportunity to find out what is going on with you, to find out what your issues are, to find out what your challenges are, and also to find out how we can address them. And it's not very often that we're able, as parliamentarians who are also ministers, to go door to door to see constituents every day, every week, every month. But it's still important to get your feedback. And so when we have opportunities like this to hear from you, we hope that you use those opportunities. We hope that you voice your concerns in a respectful way, of course. We hope that you express how you feel about how things are going, not only in the country, but certainly in the constituency. And we hope that you're very frank and open in letting us know where you would like to see this country go, or in fact, if you're happy about things as they're going in the country. In this constituency over the last few years, certainly over the last 2 years, we've done a lot. We have, and I have been able, with the support of my cabinet colleagues, we've been able to establish the police outpost, thank you, Sir Steadroy, to you and your team, because we recognize crime is one of the issues that plague certain parts of this constituency. We've been able to do substantial work right here at the Golden Grove Primary School, building the new wing on the western side of the property. And for those of you who were following the cabinet notes last week, you would recognize that the government has now entered into an arrangement with the Caribbean Development Bank to do substantial work in 4 schools in Antigua and Barbuda, and Golden Grove School is one of those schools. So over the next 2 years, this facility will look very, very different. We've done work to establish our steel band, Pandemonium, and many of you have children who participate in the steel band. In fact, if you go to the band house just by the basketball court on a Saturday, throughout the day you'll see up to about 80 children coming and learning how to play pan. We have our scholarship program. We have our engagement with the Spanish community. We have our daily cleaning that takes place in the constituency. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we've been doing a lot. But there's still work to be done. And one of the things I would like tonight is to hear from you. To hear how you feel about everything that has been done so far. To hear how you feel about the plans that we have for this constituency, and to hear how you feel generally about the government and where you would like to see our government continue to take this country. So having said that, I will pass the microphone over to Minister Greene for some opening remarks. EP?
Thank you, Minister Matthew, Prime Minister and colleague AG, people of this beautiful, glorious, historic, labor-rooted constituency from St. Paul's I say good night. It's a pleasure to be here tonight to join my voice with that of your parliament representative. Not only recounting and reflecting on the work done, but certainly the projections for work to be done. He said it himself. He recounted a number of things done in the constituency, and he went on further to say, we have work to do. The presence tonight of senior members of the party is a clear indication of the commitment that we give to Minister Matthew, your representative, and to you, the people of this constituency, to continue to work with you, for you, in your best interest. I was particularly invited tonight to speak to the Spanish-speaking community. I was even given license to speak in Spanish to you. But before I do that, just allow me to give assurances of not only support, but certainly thumbs up to the dedicated service of Minister Matthew to this constituency. As you drive through this area, you can see the changes. They're noticeable, they're visible. And I interact almost on a daily basis with members of the community on a myriad of issues. And invariably, I'm pleased with your feedback because I always want to ask about your representative and the level and quality of representation. And so I'm not saying anything that you have not said to me. So we are in chorus when we say it is Matthew yesterday, Matthew today, and Matthew tomorrow. We'll say that in Spanish just now for them to understand el apoyo que tenemos en la comunidad hispana. But this town hall meeting represents also an approach of the Antigua ABLP party to go into every constituency and to feel the pulse, to interact, to mix and mingle with you, the people. To hear from you in very direct ways, in a formal, semi-formal setting of just how you feel about the governance, the leadership, the things done and the things to be done in your constituency. And so much of it may not be able to come through tonight from the audience, but we'll be around here even after the meeting, mingling with you, mixing with you, talking with you. In short, I'm saying we commit ourselves to be accessible and to be available to you, the people, because ultimately, it is you who put us in office to serve your best interests. Allow me to go now, for brevity, into the area that I was specifically invited to speak to, that is la Comunidad Dominicana. Buenas noches. Con orgullo estoy aquí esta noche. Y yo sé que ustedes tienen fe, confianza en el señor Daryll Matthew. Yo sé que ustedes están ya satisfechos también con el liderazgo del primer ministro, el señor Gaston Browne. Que ustedes, como apoyantes del Partido Laborista de Antigua Barbuda, están bien satisfechos con la trayectoria de desarrollo del país. Quiero, como jefe del partido, decir a todos ustedes muchísimas gracias. Muchas gracias no solamente por su apoyo, pero por cariño, el trabajo, su dedicación a aumentar el nivel de la vida en el país. En cuanto a esta área y su representante Daryll Matthew, vamos a hacer un coro, un pequeño coro. Matthew ayer, Matthew hoy, Matthew mañana. Vamos, Matthew ayer. No, aguántate. Yo primero y tú después. Matthew ayer, Matthew hoy, Matthew para siempre. Muchísimas gracias y buenas noches.
Thank you, EP. One of these days I'll be able to do the same thing. You know, as Minister Greene spoke, it just brought to my attention, to bring to your attention, the diversity that we have in St. John's Rural South. We have a large population from the Dominican Republic. We have a large population of Jamaicans, Guyanese, Vincentians, Dominicans, and of course, Antiguans and Barbudans, and Arabs. This is easily one of the most diverse constituencies in Antigua and Barbuda. And I believe the St. John's Rural South constituency can now be considered a melting pot of nations. And that is why it is important. That is why it's important for us to continue to engage with you. Because each group has different needs. Each group has different concerns. And so it's not a one-size-fits-all in this constituency. Before I pass the microphone over to the AG, I would like to say a special welcome to MP Anthony Smith from All Saints West. Welcome to St. John's Rural South. And I'd also like to say welcome to my constituent, former MP Johan Messiah. So, welcome. AG, over to you.
Thank you very kindly, my friend and neighbor, St. John's Rural South. This is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. As I sit here and I look and I see the people gathered here today, these are people that I know. These are people that I feel strongly about. I know each and every one of you in here tonight. I've been in City South, Rural West, and City West. These are my people. I'm a bit jealous, when I heard my friend from Liberta speak so fluently in Spanish. I only know 2 words in Spanish. Te amor. Always, te amor. That is your Cutie. Cutie loves you, and you love Cutie. But let me say one thing about my friend and comrade Daryll Matthew. When he started, we were divided into segments, the zone. City South, Rural West, Rural South, and St. George. And we made a pledge that we will always work together. We look after each other. And that is why when you come to see me, my friends from Santo Domingo, my heart is full to overflowing. Because I know, and I can tell you, every cabinet meeting, this gentleman to the east of the Prime Minister talks about your constituency, talks about the roads, he talks about everything concerning the constituency. And he lived behind me to make sure that we established an outpost, an outstation down there. I want to talk about that a little bit. We are a little short of police officers, so we can't have it manned for 24 hours a day. But we have just recruited, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much, another 50 police officers who are being trained. And as soon as they are fully trained, my friend, Calypsonian, my brother, how are you? We shall be having that outstation, that outpost, always manned. Because of the problems in the area, we have made sure that we have police patrols all the time, going through the area, checking the area. And what I'd like you to do for me is that if you see something, say something. Don't let people commit crime. Call your neighbor. Call the police station. And in the evenings, when you see lights flashing, it's the police. When you see people on the streets gathered and their intention are not clear, just call the police. Call me. You know me. You have my number. Call me. Or call, of course, Minister Matthew. Because I want to make it clear, beyond any reasonable doubt, whenever this Prime Minister beside me, my friend Gaston Browne, more than that, Gassy Brown, Gassy Dread, whenever he decides to pull the plug, I can tell you one thing for sure. City South, Rural South will be here in government to support our Prime Minister, together with, of course, St. Paul's. And our government will always be here for you. We care for you. We love you. We'll do all we can for you. All I'm asking, just be patient. He has done all he can for you. The government listens to him. He argues for you all the time, and the government listens. This Prime Minister listens, you know. He listens. And when he listens and he talks, everyone listens. So I want to tell you tonight, let's have a good meeting. Let's interact. And that young comrade, my friend of All Saints West, young Comrade Smith. Comrade Smith has come into this party. Comrade Smith has come into the government. And Comrade Smith, as a young man, has now fallen fully into the arms of the Labour Party. Mr. Prime Minister, I want to tell you, you were wise when you opened your arms and welcomed him into the home of the Labour Party. So, my friends, let's have a good meeting tonight. Please feel free to ask any questions. And Daryll, sometimes I take one or two of your people, you know, I see them over here. I steal them from you sometimes. So please feel free to ask questions. Let's interact. And let us show and demonstrate to this country, to this world, what true comradeship is all about. What understanding is all about. What caring is all about. Let us live. Let us love. Let us be happy. Thank you.
One, two. Yeah. Thank you very much. Let me start by acknowledging all of my colleagues at the head table, to include the man of the moment, Comrade Daryll Matthew, and of course, all of our comrades, brothers, sisters, those of you who are here, and those who will be participating via the various media, including social media. It's certainly a pleasure to be here tonight to consult with you. In fact, this, in essence, is a form of consultation, a form of participatory governance, in which you will have the opportunity to raise issues with us. We're here primarily to listen to you, while at the same time providing a brief account of our stewardship, to reassure you that we continue to govern the country with integrity and skill, and that our country continues to advance, notwithstanding the various challenges that we are faced with. We continue to invest heavily in our people, in education, in healthcare, in infrastructure, the creative arts, agriculture. In fact, there is not a single sector that has been left behind. Because we had promised, leading up to the last general elections, that we will transform this country and that this term will be a next level term, a term in which we will level up, and that you will see increased performance in every aspect of our development, more tourists, more revenues, increased salaries and wages. And that is precisely what we're doing. In fact, this year promises to be yet another strong year of performance, and is likely to be our best tourism year. In fact, last year was a record-breaking year, and this year will exceed 2025. So we expect that by the end of this year, we will have at least probably 1 million cruise tourists and another 400,000 overnight tourists. So that means that we're attracting more people, spending is increasing, revenues are increasing. But what we're doing, however, is to ensure that you, the locals, that we provide opportunities for you to participate in the sector. And that is why we've been making waterfront and beach properties available to you in small parcels so you can build Airbnb properties and so that you too could be part of this development to make sure that tourism does not remain somewhat of an enclave industry, but that it will be available for you, the local man and woman, so that you too can get a piece of the pie. So far, about 35% of the tourists who come to our shores, the overnight tourists, they stay in Airbnb properties. So we are seeing a number of locals benefiting from the tourism sector by investing in these properties. And currently we have land available at Shell Beach. Even though I'm told of the 55 lots, we already have over 250 applications. And we also have land that will become available down at Royal Antiguan and also at Willoughby Bay. Previously, we'd have sold land down at Pensions Beach. That's totally sold out. And again, to Antiguans and Barbudans to encourage you to get some prime parcels of land where you can build out these properties. As you're aware, we have built thousands of homes. We have subsidized the homes heavily to make sure that the homes are affordable and that we will transfer equity to our people. So every time you buy a home from Chapel or National Housing, you'd have gotten tens of thousands of dollars in equity. In some instances, as much as over $100,000 in equity, based on the fact that these properties are heavily subsidized. We have practically subsidized every vehicle that is imported into this country by waiving taxes, duties and taxes. And even in terms of entrepreneurship, we've been assisting a number of entrepreneurs to establish a business, providing funding, providing concessions. We have the Entrepreneurial Fund, and I believe to date that they have loaned about $8 million, and there's still funds available. In fact, there are funds available on a revolving basis to assist Antiguans and Barbudans to enter into various businesses. We have invested heavily in healthcare. We continue to improve health services. In fact, the renal center that we promised a couple of years ago, that will be completed within a matter of months. Also, we are doing advanced surgeries at Mount St. John. We'll be doing cardiac procedures late in the year. Insofar as education is concerned, you know that we've established UE5 Islands, and we also will be expanding UE5 Islands by spending about $200 million to build out further facilities for the university. So again, in every aspect, even in terms of the creative arts, your parliamentary representative, he is presiding over the establishment of a national performing arts center, the former Deluxe facility. That should become available by about September, October of this year. And he would have indicated to you that he just negotiated a loan of just over $100 million to retrofit a number of our schools, including the Golden Grove School. And evidently, Minister Matthew has performed. He would have outlined to you a number of projects that he has undertaken here in this constituency, even the expansion of the Golden Grove School, a new police outpost, showing very clearly that he cares and that he continues to perform. And I can say definitively that Comrade Matthew is certainly a man of competence, a man of integrity, and he's obviously one of the senior members of the executive and someone who is well respected, someone who fights for you literally on a weekly basis, pushing to get more resources for his constituents, and someone who deserves your trust and your continued support. As someone said earlier, Matthew now, Matthew tomorrow, Matthew forever. Yeah. But as you take into consideration investments that we have made in infrastructure, in roads, in water, and recognizing too from whence we came, because a lot of people do not recognize that we got a real tough hand to play a decade ago. But we have made significant progress in terms of the production of water. We still have some gaps that we need to resolve, but currently we have the capacity to produce 11 million gallons of water daily compared to the 2.5 million that we inherited a decade ago. Our roads, they are improving rapidly. Some of you may be a little impatient, but I'll say to you that help is underway. The problem that we have is that practically all the roads were bad when we came to government, and in order to resolve them, it's going to take some time, but at the same time, we have mobilized a significant amount of resources, and you can see, insofar as the main roads are concerned, that most of them have been repaired, and we are working assiduously in the various communities to repair the roads, and we're building climate sustainable roads. A lot of roads are actually concrete roads. So within the next few months to probably 18 months, you should see a significant improvement in the road infrastructure within our country. So with that type of momentum, strong economic growth, strong development, employment has increased. In fact, just within the last 12 months, we would have created over 4,000 jobs. In some sectors, we don't have enough workers. We have to import workers from abroad. In construction, in security, and some other areas, we have to literally import workers to supplement our labor requirements. So it's important that we keep the momentum going. And what we want to make sure is that we continue to improve on the successes that we have made. And that is why we're consulting. That is why we're here to talk to you, to hear from you, to see how we can better serve you. Because ultimately, we're here to serve and to empower you. And we don't want to be coming weeks before an election or a couple of months before an election to engage you. We will be literally fanning out the entire country, going to every single constituency to engage Antiguans and Barbudans and to find out precisely what your issues are. So we're here primarily to listen, and not only to listen, but to act. So we'll be taking notes for that matter, concerning the various issues affecting you and areas in which we can make interventions. You can be assured that we'll do so. Even with the various programs that we have, the radio programs, we do listen to you, and almost invariably on a weekly basis, we discuss issues that are raised in the public domain. Up to last Saturday on the Point FM program, we had a guest, Eli Fuller. He raised a number of issues, and within the last 2 days, on Wednesday last, we actually addressed many of those issues at the level of the cabinet. So this is not a talk shop or intended to be a talk shop. This is intended to engage you in a form of participatory government so you can participate in the governance of the country, for your voice to be heard. This is one way in which you're able to amplify your voice to be heard at the highest level in the governance of the country so that we can address your concerns in a serious way. Final issue I want to say, because I was asked just to make brief comments, is that with the momentum that we have had so far, it's important that we sustain this momentum. Now is not the time for any form of experimentation. Now is not the time to gamble with the successes that we have had fought for and won within the last several years. This is a time for you to stay the course. This is a time for you to continue to invest in your representative, the Honorable Daryll Matthew, who has proven that he has the capacity, the competence, and certainly the commitment to represent your best interests. And certainly Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party has been and continues to be one of the best performing administrations in the history of this country. So it is in your interest to make sure that you stay the course, to support your representatives, to support the Antiguan Labour Party, to ensure that we continue to protect what we have gained so far, the progress that we have had so far, and at the same time, to ensure continued progress and a future of success for all Antiguans and Barbudans. So again, a pleasure. I want to thank you all for coming out in your numbers, and we look forward to a very productive and exciting discussion as we wrap with you and to look at various issues and to see how we can address those in your best interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, colleagues. Before I get Prime Minister, I have a message that I was asked to give you from Nurse Beatrice. She says to tell you that she's not feeling too well, and so she can't be here, but she will listen in. So, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister made a point just now about commitment. I can tell you, there isn't a day that I rise and not wonder what can I do to improve the quality of life for persons in this constituency. Many of you message me early in the morning Sometimes I wonder what you're doing up. 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And I always say to you that if you call, sometimes I might not be able to answer right away. But if you message me, you'll definitely get an answer. And I do try my best to respond to every message. I believe I catch most of them. But every single day, ladies and gentlemen, I sit, I work with my team, we discuss, and the issue is always, what can we do to improve your quality of life? And there are some persons who have individual needs, and we try to meet as many of them as possible. But as a community, and I grew up just over the hill in Golden Grove, as a community, I've always felt that there are certain things that need to be present in a community for persons to feel good. The AG spoke about the police outposts, and I'm sure there may be questions about that. I spoke about the school. But one of the things that I've always felt is lacking in this community is a proper recreational area outside of the football fields, because there are times when football games are playing and persons don't really have the sort of access. And with the support of this cabinet, a few months ago, I presented a program to the cabinet to build out a series of parks and playgrounds in this constituency. There was once a playground in Radio Range that has gone derelict. Within the next 60 days, you don't know this and I didn't tell you because you're going to want one for pint. But of course. Within the next 60 days, we will have that playground back operational in Radio Range. Please, a round of applause. But to go further, this particular area, the Lower Otters, Not Grove area, is a very tightly packed and congested area. I've said to many of you, the government simply doesn't have lands in this area. And what we have decided to do and what we have done is acquire a parcel of land in this constituency for the sole reason of building a park. That park is going to be just up the road behind us at the top of Tyndall Road, across road from Santana, that big open area where we have our Christmas parties and so on. It's about an acre and a half. The government has acquired that parcel of land, and I want to thank the family for being open to parting with that property. The government has acquired that property. And within the next 6 months or so, because the park has already been acquired, I have to tell you, we're going to be fencing it. We're going to be building out our park. But I say this because I'm appealing for your support. Too often we have facilities in the constituency that persons don't take care of. It cannot be the sole responsibility of myself as a parliamentarian, as the government in office, or even of the team that work along with me to take care of public facilities. Because these facilities are in place for you and your children and your families. So I'm appealing to you that when we re-establish that park in Radio Range over the next few weeks, when we build out that park at the top of Tyndall Road here, I'm appealing to you, please treat it as if it were yours. Protect it. If you see persons vandalizing it, stop them, report it. There's a police outpost there. We cannot continue to take a position that it's not mine, it's government something. But government something is your something. If it belongs to the government, it belongs to you. You are the government. Many of you have children who used to play that playground in Radio Range. That is no longer there. Many of you would love to be able to come out on a Sunday afternoon and sit on some picnic benches under a nice umbrella and watch your children go down a slide or be on a swing. That is the improvement of quality of life that we want to bring to this constituency. And if there's one thing, Prime Minister, I'm going to commit tonight, is to ensure that that park takes place and gets developed. I did it with the band house. I did it with the police outpost, and I have to tell you, I used to harass the AG a lot and the Commissioner of Police a lot. Because I hear the complaints and I see the challenges that the community faces when it comes to crime. The last time we had a town hall meeting on the basketball court, AG, someone tried to set this very place on fire, that very night. And I refuse to live in fear. And I encourage all of you to refuse to live in fear. We must live happy and comfortably in this constituency. And I have accepted as a part of my responsibility my role, my obligation, to do everything I can as a part of this administration to make sure that you can sit on your gallery on a Sunday night and watch your traffic pass. You can go down and watch your children play on a slide. You can walk up the road to visit your friend. Or you can just lie in your home peacefully and not be afraid. That is my commitment to you. We have infrastructural issues. And I have to thank the government as well, because we have seen roadwork start. In the Creekside extension where there were no roads at all, Prime Minister, they're now paving the roads. Concrete roads are going in down there. It's taken a little longer than I hoped. But the process has started. And many of the roads down there are now paved. We have areas in Nut Grove that need attention. The other area I want to touch before I open the floor for questions is the cleanliness of the constituency. And I want to thank the gentleman from Lower Otters, Luke and his team from Lower Otters. Every Sunday, they volunteer to clean up. Every Sunday. We've been demolishing old and abandoned buildings. We've been fixing the curbs and drains. And it's all voluntary. And I say all of that to let you know that when a community decides to come together, when a community decides to work together to improve the quality of the environment, when as a community we decide that we're going to love where we live and live where we love, big things can happen. And so I'm appealing to all of you. Let us get back to the day when we took some responsibility for our immediate environment. As the MP and as a member of the cabinet and a member of the government, I will do my part. Because when they volunteer on a Sunday morning, I provide the backhoe for them. I realize government has a role to play. But it cannot only be government's role. And I will continue to provide that leadership in this community, in this constituency, to ensure that whatever the issues are, I hear from you. I hear about the issues. I present them to the cabinet. I argue like hell on your behalf. I believe sometimes they think I'm disgusting, but it's all right. You put me in the cabinet to work for you. I argue on your behalf, and we will continue to see the benefits that you deserve because of your confidence in me. So having said that, and I'll speak a little bit more later, as the Prime Minister said, tonight is a time for us to listen and to hear from you. I want to encourage you to ask any question you have. My position is, it's either we have the answer or we will get the answer. We might not have the answer tonight. It's either we have it or we will get it. But please, be open, ask your questions, and we will do our best to address them. Having said that, I want to open the floor now. It's not, as the PM said, a talk shop. It's about for us to hear from you. There should be a microphone somewhere down there. There's a microphone. The gentleman on my left has it. If you have a question, well, we have another microphone up here, so 2 microphones can be in the room. If you have a question, please just indicate, and we will get the microphone to you. So you can ask your question and we will answer. I see Alex.
All right.
Taking the microphone quickly.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you, honorables on the table. You're all looking good. Hope you look better after election. Well, tonight I'm here, and all of us are here to rectify and the very good news that came out on social media about an amnesty. Is there any amnesty for all different nations in Antigua and Barbuda?
The cabinet recently decided that based on the fact that we have a shortage of workers in certain sectors, which I indicated earlier, and the fact, too, that we have had to literally import workers from abroad. National Housing is a typical example. They've had to import several dozen workers from the Dominican Republic to help us with the construction of homes for Antiguans and Barbudans. We've decided that we'll have an amnesty and to see how many of the individuals who are in the informal sector who we can now formalize and to get them to work in the formal sector to help us to advance economic development. So the decision has been taken in terms of the effective date. I think we're looking at sometime in March. And we probably may run it for about 6 to 8 weeks in the first instance. I don't know if there will be any extension, but we're looking at a 6 to 8 week period.
Eso es su primer ministro. Okay. We have some more issues, but we're going to deduct it later.
Well, let me just add, if I may, Prime Minister. You know, there are some persons who are going to be tempted to want to politicize an amnesty.
Good.
But there are benefits to having an increased number of persons, skilled persons in particular, in your country. Additionally, when you look at some of the islands around the Caribbean, they're suffering from reduced populations. When your population does not grow, businesses can't grow. When your population does not grow, the workforce that is contributing to your social services, like your social security and your medical benefits, they can't get that benefit. And so amnesties are not about politics. Amnesties are about ensuring that we continue to have a robust population. In fact, I'm not sure if you're aware, colleagues, our government, and I won't call it, well, I'll call it Barbados, has always had a very anti-immigrant position for decades. Over the last 2 years, the government of Barbados has decided to relax their immigration policies because they realize the population is declining. And when your population, and as the minister said, they've now embraced free movement. Because when your population declines, it sets in train a problem that manifests itself several years down the line. When your working population, the people within that productive age, between, say, the ages of 20 and 50, and we know retirement is 65, but that core working age, when persons are at their most productive, when you have a decline in the number of persons in that age group, it means you have less persons contributing to Social Security, which means that you're not going to be able to meet your obligations going forward for pensions. It means that businesses that require people, whether they're supermarkets or architectural offices or doctors or law firms, when you don't have enough people working, it means that these businesses can't survive. We have seen, and I said it to the cabinet about a year ago, we in the Ministry of Education have seen a decline in the number of students in schools. And so whereas persons may say, well, the population is good, we have plenty of people. What the statistics in the Ministry of Education is showing is that the school population is reducing. Some schools have closed because they don't have enough children, which means that as a country, we're not having enough babies being born every year to continue that support. All right? It sounds funny, but it's true. And so what will happen eventually, if that pattern continues, you'll end up with a problem of productivity and productive workforces and people working. And one of the ways that we're seeking to address that, in addition to the problem that the Prime Minister addressed of having enough skilled workers here, is to allow persons who are already in the country an opportunity to come out of the dark, to regularize themselves, and to become contributors to all of our programs here, our social security, our education levy, our medical benefits, to contribute to the survival of businesses through their spend and economic activity. And so that is why we have these programs in place.
Yeah. We have another issue, but I don't know if you want to take me or take somebody else.
Well, let's take another question and then we can come back to you.
Okay.
There's a microphone on the side here, sir.
Salary increasing because cost of living is raising. I work for national housing. I'm gone 10 years now until I work for $149. 10 years, I'm a qualified man. As I say, you employ people. Me don't qualify. I can't do carpentry, I can't do steel work, I can't do mason work. I pay current. Because current shock, I can't see them. So you understand me talk about my salary increase. For me, the demand of the cool. You know what I'm say right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that question. Public servants who are governed by these collective bargaining agreements, the non-established and established public servants, they will be given an increase by July of this year. We've also agreed to that pensioners will get an increase. statutory organizations and entities, companies that are owned by the government, we will also encourage them to do likewise. But in terms of the formal agreements as budgeted, we have budgeted for increases for public servants, established and unestablished, as well as pensioners. And if there's a scope for national housing to give an increase, we'll certainly encourage them. What I will say, though, insofar as national housing, they want to make sure that they pay their workers a fair day's work. But at the same time, workers will not necessarily get premium pay compared to certain companies like in Barbuda, where they're paying, PLH, for example, where they're paying a premium. Because you have to understand that these are homes that we're building for ordinary people. And if the labor costs increases exponentially, then the cost of these properties will also increase and they'll become unaffordable. So a balance has to be struck, one in which we pay sufficient to the workers at national housing, but at the same time ensuring that the salaries and wages do not become uncontrollable or unsustainable to the extent that we have to pass on higher costs to the homeowners.
And in any event, in addition to the Prime Minister, this government is so very concerned that right now we have the National Minimum Wage Committee operating. That committee is made up of persons from all walks of life who are trained in economics, accounts, trade unionism. We're looking at the cost of living, and they are now working together to submit a national minimum wage to us. So we want you to understand that our government, your government, are very concerned about the wages that you earn. So when that committee submits its report, within the next 2 months or thereabouts, and the Prime Minister and his cabinet will meet on that recommendation, very soon thereafter, you will hear what is the national minimum wage. And remember that in this country, this government is the first government that has increased national minimum wage on 3 occasions. 3 occasions since we got into power. And the Prime Minister has mandated that in order to make certain that wages meet cost of living, he's asked that the Act says, you look at it every 2 years, we shall be, Mr. Prime Minister, as close as we can, we shall be following the provision of the Act to look at the minimum wage to make sure that you can have a wage that you can earn comfortably, provide for yourself, and provide for your children as well. Further, the national minimum wage in Antigua and Barbuda is better than that in the OECS countries. Remember that. And that is why many persons from around the islands come into Antigua to live. And PM, we have to watch the influx. But at least we're making sure that we can give you a wage, a livable wage, that you can take care of yourself and your children. You can pay your rent. And this government goes further because we give you vouchers as well. So where you fall short, you get vouchers to help you purchase the basic things that you need. The middle word of this government is caring. We care for you, and we're looking after each and every one of you.
So, in summary, what the distinguished Attorney General just indicated is that there will be an increase in the minimum wage.
That's correct.
And again, this is one of the measures in which we are trying to address the issue of increased cost of living. We also want to encourage those in the private sector to follow the lead of our government and to ensure that their workers get routine increases so that there's no erosion in their living standards.
The final thing. During the budget presentation last year, the Prime Minister announced that the Cabinet took a decision to waive CXC fees and the fees for ABCAS, the Antigua State College and YIP. And that initiative and that decision was as a response to the cost of living, because whether we like it or not, the increasing cost of living is imported by us. We import almost everything from different countries. And so when things go up in different countries, when the price of oil goes up, so the price of shipping goes up, it means that the price of goods go up in Antigua and Barbuda as well. And so we have decided to address that issue. One of the things that we will do is to remove the cost associated with education. And many of you who have children who sat CXC last year, you will know how much it costs. $800, $1,000. And God forbid you have more than one child doing CXC at the same time. We decided that no parent should ever have to take the decision or make a decision between paying for CXCs for their children or paying for their child's education at the state college or any of the ABCAS institutions or buying food. That simply ought not to be a decision that anyone living in this country should have to make. And so yes, we understand the cost of living has gone up. It is a global problem, but we are finding local solutions for it. The increasing minimum wage, the removal of fees that are associated with education, the number of scholarships that we continue to give to people, the provision of low-income housing. These are the things that we're doing to address the problem.
As the Minister of Trade, I think I need to add the other dimension to this. As we watch imported cost of living and the ways that we, as a government, set out to cushion the challenges. We have removed the CET from a slew of items. I mean, the Prime Minister made a joke about the cost of strawberries in Antigua now. It's so low that, I mean, it's affordable. You have to order in advance. You can't just walk in and buy strawberries now. And I want to show you that whilst we got the CET waived on those items for a one-year period, we'll continue to monitor cost of living. Again, we don't have the levers. We don't control it. If the food prices go up overseas and the shipping prices go up, naturally it will be affected in the supermarkets. But what we can control is the ABST. And I guess you all heard last week the IMF said that it's not the best decision to lower the ABST. Well, I can't speak for Minister of Finance, but I speak as an elected member. They can say what they want to say. Our mission is to impact and to help to ease the squeeze on the consumers in Antigua and Barbuda, our people. And so we have a basket of goods. We have removed the CET off a number of items. And even notice the items that we were able to negotiate are very healthy items. Not the typical things that you get in everyday basket of goods. Talking about healthy eating, because a healthy nation is what we're presiding over. We're very conscious and aware of the need to eat healthy. And so to the young man who spoke about his salary not moving or his wage not moving from 100 and how much? 149. But let me remind you, it's not a week, it's a day. So why just speak about the static nature of your wages? Also, let's put into the equation the fact that government continues to make interventions to cushion that. And that whilst we don't control the levers, because it's imported cost of living, whatever we can do, we will do to make sure that cost of living in Antigua and Barbuda is affordable. So added to all the other measures the Minister spoke about, we also have intervened in the trade side, making sure that cost of living and price of goods, especially food, remains affordable to Antiguans and Barbudans and persons living here.
And the last point on the cost of living, the young man right there, the Minister of Agriculture, he has a critical role to play, and he has been playing a critical role in ensuring that we reduce our food import bill. Many of you can see what happens at CMC. When CMC brings in a container, it doesn't last a day. That is government's intervention in carrying down the price of food, and that comes under him. When he goes out there to the farmers and he has put these programs in place to ensure that we can build out a robust agricultural sector. We might not be able to produce everything in this country, but those food items that we can grow here, the government will give full support to do that. We have duty-free on all our agricultural implements. I think you gave out several thousand seedlings about a month ago. These are the things that we're doing to help keep down that cost of living. Because what we grow here, what we produce here, we don't have to import. When CMC can keep down the price of food, it means that you have access to cheaper food. And I know there's some supermarkets that don't like it. We get the complaints all the time from some of the big supermarkets that CMC is competing with them unfairly. But to be able to eat salmon and steak can't just be exclusive to one group of people. Everybody must be able to eat healthy. And if we have to do that through CMC, then we will do it by policy. And as I say, who begs then? But our people must have access to the same healthy food. And so, Minister Smith, I want to thank you. I know it's not really your meeting tonight, but I want to thank you for continuing to fight for the agricultural sector.
Let me just elaborate on some of the investments that we've made in the agricultural sector. We purchased the former Kennedy's building at Casada Gardens. I believe we spent in a region about $9 million for that facility. And that will be a major retail facility for CMC as we expand the services offered by CMC. It will also have chill room facilities so they can accept products from farmers, because we're also building out the agricultural sector. We have invested in excess of $5 million in agricultural equipment. In fact, up to yesterday, we agreed to purchase 4 additional tractors to help the farmers to plow the land. We have also bought excavators, a traxtivator, trucks, and several other pieces of equipment for the Ministry of Agriculture, specifically to assist in the creation of dams and ponds for farmers. We're doing this for free. We also will be actually mining material to fix the feeder roads going into the farms. And we also have solar lights as well that we'll be placing on these farms, all for free, because we want to make sure that the farmers, if they so choose, that they can farm at nights because of the situation with heat waves. So they will have water, which will be a critical component as a result of the construction of these dams and ponds. And in addition to that, we have also invested in 2 abattoirs, including a chicken abattoir, as we seek to increase the broiler production and even the production of chicken parts so we can have fresh produce and meats. So it's not only about driving down the cost, the issue of nutrition is also very important to make sure that we have locally grown produce and meats that will be far healthier than the imported products. And again, I want to commend Minister Smith, who is presiding over the development of the agricultural sector.
We have 2 questions down in the back. Who has a microphone? We have some questions in the back. Please stand. No, someone, go ahead.
Checking, working. Good night, everyone, family and friends, ministers. My name is Jason Manso. Born, bred, raised Antiguan, proud Antiguan, Barbudan. First, I want to thank the ministers for orchestrating this event for the community. You're giving us an opportunity, a voice to be heard, and we can give us a chance to. Yeah, just an opportunity to converse, and like you said, more opportunities. So, just a small, introduction of myself. I am from Antigua. I'm a physician. I just recently got the honor of being quoted by Mr. Matthew at the Royalton. Thank you. And so, long story short, like most people, I was born and raised here. I grew up with other locals, the Guyanese, the Jamaicans, Spanish, and my parents are immigrants. They migrated to Antigua a long time ago, and they came to the island in the 60s, 70s, I'm not too sure, with nothing but the clothes on their back, a couple of dollars in their pockets, mom and dad, and through hard work and perseverance, diligence, they were able to give me a good education and support me, and by the grace of God, we're thankful.
Thank you so much.
And here I am, proud Antiguan, and a huge supporter. Well, I speak on behalf of all the Syrian community. You know, you guys deserve all the recognition and all the admiration. You guys are doing a hell of a job, so can we give them a round of applause, please? No complaints, no complaints. Just a small issue regarding the students under the scholarship committee. Like myself, I have been, I'm grateful that we've been under the scholarship committee for the medical board. We're still waiting on, well, there's been a delay with the treasury. And I'm only speaking on behalf of other students like myself, not just the medical students, but the business students and all the students under the scholarship program. Is there any way you guys can rectify or facilitate the means of dispersing the scholarship checks for the students?
Yes, good question, and congratulations, Jason.
Thank you.
And being a
Thank
doctor.
you, my brother. Thank you.
We had an issue over the past few weeks, well, I think maybe since about mid-December, where I was told that the free balance system at Treasury had some issues. And so there are some persons who had not been able to receive their scholarship checks from the PM scholarship program. I'm told that, well, I was told yesterday by Mr. Merchant that that system, that problem has been alleviated, and so I very much suspect that over the next few days, persons will see their checks being issued.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
No problem. No problem. Do we have another, I saw a young lady in the back.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, Mr. PM, for being here. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for being here as a post-birthday celebration. But I have a concern. I heard on the radio about a week ago that the PDV would not be giving 2 vouchers to pensioners, husband and wife. They'll be only giving 1. When you stop working, your income is decreased. And so those pensioners need the extra money to pay their bills, to maintain their standard of living.
I just consulted with my colleagues, and that's news to us. So we will get the information and have that issue resolved. We're not aware. In fact, certainly at the level of the cabinet, we have not made any such policy change. So we'll get further information on that and respond to you.
Good night, everybody. My first question is to the AG about the crime situation in Antigua and Barbuda. Now, we had Pi and Tyrone from this area who were murdered in their homes. And up to now, there has not been any arrests. It's like the case is a cold case file. When you go on Facebook and you see these cases, it's either an adjournment, a delay, or the case go cold altogether. What is being done towards cases like that? Because people can't be living in fear all the time. Your home should be your home of safety and peace, not somewhere where somebody coming to kill you, to murder you, and there's no resolve for it. So that's my question to you, the AG. And then when you answer, I have a question for Mr. Matthew.
Thank you very much for that question. You spoke of cold files.
I said it seems like they go cold.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. The situation is basically this. On many occasions, we have to send our exhibits overseas to be dealt with. And that is why this government recently have introduced our forensic lab here in Antigua. When we send them overseas, we have to wait in line for other countries who sent their things overseas as well. And that is the reason why sometimes that causes a delay in bringing matters before the court. the police have to be sure that they have all of the evidence that they require to get a conviction of someone who is charged. We don't want to go to court and then there's evidence lacking. And on some technicality, an accused person who otherwise would have been found guilty is set free. I understand the concerns. That's why the government has invested huge sums of money in our forensic lab, which is being built right now and established at Coolidge. Where Coolidge Police Station is, that is to cut down on the time, because we have to send our exhibits to Jamaica in some instances. We've got to bring people from Jamaica, Trinidad, here to Antigua. We have to send items by the FBI to the USA. We have to get specialist information sometimes to get tracing of telephone calls. We are not yet as sophisticated as we ought to be. Not only Antigua, but this thing is present throughout the region as well. But I'm pleased to tell you that in spite of the fact that we may have some difficulty and time limits on some crimes, that Antigua is still the safest country in this part of the hemisphere. And when it comes to serious crimes, we've got the least amount of serious crimes being committed in the whole region from Jamaica right down to Guyana.
So can you give us a time frame when this forensic lab will be finished?
Well, we have passed several thousands of dollars just last week. We discussed it in cabinet. Listen, when you live in a small country like Antigua and Barbuda, where our resources are limited, where the cash is limited, in economics, they say, you allocate your resources towards different ends. It's a matter of priority. We've got to think of health. We've got to think of teaching. We've got to think of the children. We've got to think of the old people. You see, we have set aside huge sums of money in this area because the Prime Minister wants Antigua and Barbuda to remain the safest country in this part of the hemisphere as we are right now. And what we will do, though, I don't want to give you a time limit, but I can assure you that the government will purchase the necessary equipment so we can get blood analyses, saliva tests done, sperm tests done. These are things which we're doing in our small country, but it takes time. And I can assure you, though, that we're getting the help. We use Scotland Yard as well, the FBI, Scotland Yard, Jamaica, Trinidad. We will get it done. Just bear with us. It will be done.
And you have to make people's lives priority as well.
I agree. I agree.
Minister Matthew, you know me very well.
I do.
Okay. My question, let me make a statement first before I ask my question. I would like a piece of land for my business in rural South because I pointed out to you on several occasions a piece of land which I know it has gone over to Crown land now because the person died. The person never paid for the land, right? And I am at a state now, you know, I am at a state now where I need that land desperately. Also, the water situation in Creekside. I went and applied to APUA. I think I took a picture of the letter that they sent to me. They told me to come and collect, which is going to cost over $10,000 for the pipe to come from the corner down by me. So what are you going to do about that?
Thanks for the questions, Flavia. So just to give some context. Calm down. It's okay. No, I love the questions. It's okay. Don't worry, man. That's all right. That's all right. One of the things one of the realities that we face here in rural South, as I mentioned earlier, The government simply does not have land in this constituency. Point blank. You indicated, and you and I spoke earlier this week, or it might have been over the weekend or something, about the current situation that you're facing with your business. But the fact is, land doesn't become government because the person died. If someone is paying for a piece of land, let's assume, and I am assuming that what you're saying is that the land had not yet been transferred to the person, they were paying on it, they died, and so the land is still registered as Crown. But the person's estate or the beneficiary still has an interest in that property. So we can't simply take that land and give it to someone else, or to give it to you. That's just the reality of the law. Now, hold on, but I understand your frustration. Because you're operating a business. You have certain challenges where you need to move, and I think every one of us here wants to see your business survive and thrive. I have committed to trying to find an area where you could operate your business to help you. However, I can't guarantee that that will be in this constituency. Because again, it is outside my ability to fix that problem. The government simply does not own land in this area. As it relates to the water situation, we had a town hall meeting in the Creekside area several months ago where the minister with responsibility for APA, Minister Nicholas, with the cabinet support, indicated that APA ought not to be sending persons these massive estimates to connect. In fact, he said it at the town hall meeting. I repeated it in our Creekside chat group, and I think must have been, in fact, the same day you sent me a copy of the estimate, I forwarded it to APA for addressing. I actually forgot to raise it at cabinet yesterday. Yeah. But it is being addressed because I will repeat here in the presence of the Prime Minister, the Attorney General, my colleague Minister Anthony Smith, that the cabinet took a decision that these estimates that persons are being given to connect to public utilities ought not to be the responsibility of the individual. And so I'm repeating it here, and so I did commit to you that I will follow up on it to have that matter addressed.
Okay.
But the land situation, Flavia, it's out of my ability to solve.
All right, I just want to ask the Prime Minister, just for clarification's sake. My little boy here, he did an open heart surgery a year and a half ago. Next month, we're supposed to do a follow-up with the American situation. Yes, we do have the visas already, but would it be a problem for us going in? Because normally when we go in, we stay about 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, if he has a valid visa, there's no issue. There's a pause on the issuance of new visas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Flavia. I see a lady standing here. If someone can bring the microphone.
Hold on.
Oh, you.
I'm hiding.
Coming back to you, Alex.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, my dear.
Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
I have a question to ask. So, as you mentioned that there's no land in the constituency really for the government to issue to constituents. So, I'd like to ask what programs are being put in place for us who would like to own. And for me, I'm single, I'm 26, so I don't have wealth from a generation. So that's one aspect, as well as I don't have a 5% deposit on my bank account to get a mortgage. So what is being put in place for us singles who may not want to go down the route of taking a mortgage? Can we be placed on a program where we can pay over time and own eventually? So that's one of my questions.
Absolutely good question. Very, very good question. The gist of the question is, as a young person, whether male or female, how can we have access to lands that the government owns and perhaps even a home? I'll repeat again, this constituency will challenge if persons want a piece of government land in the constituency. However, there's nothing stopping any individual from acquiring a parcel of land in other areas. In fact, several months ago over the Christmas, I believe, the cabinet took a decision to acquire some lands up by you in the Belmont area and going up in the stadium area. I have asked persons, and persons have been coming in, indicating their interest. Chopper has been working along with us. And some idea, that is something that is available to you as well. Where the ability to own a home is concerned, there is definitely a supply and demand issue. We're not able to build the homes fast enough. However, we as a government, and certainly the Ministry of Housing, they have come up with a starter home product that is more affordable. So if persons' pockets aren't able to buy the $500,000 and the $400,000 home, there's a starter home that the other party actually ridicule and say we're giving people half a house. But anyway, there's a starter home program where persons can buy, and as their means improves, they can scale up as they see fit. And so that is something that we're doing through National Housing as well.
Okay, I have two last...
Just to expand on that issue, so we have a program with State Insurance Corporation in which you could pay a premium and get an indemnity that will cover the deposit requirement, provided the bank will accept it. So that program has been in place for a few years now, but unfortunately the take-up has been very low. So that's one of the ways in which you can cover the deposit requirement if you do not have the 5% or 10%. Now, we're also shopping for a loan of 100 million EC dollars, and we intend to utilize a portion of that loan to build some starter homes that will be rent-to-own properties. In fact, at the Booby Alley project, we will have a few units, especially for those who were displaced but did not own a home but were living at Booby Alley. We'll have a rent-to-own situation there as well. And there will also be another 100 condominiums that will be built, 50 in Bowlands and 50 in Barbuda. Those two will have a rent-to-own option. So we're now transitioning into some rent-to-own options, properties that will be built by the government and rented to the individual with the understanding that the rent will go towards equity.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I did not know about the state insurance plan. I'm definitely going to research about it and see how I can take advantage of it. Also, with us having to leave this constituency to gain land and eventually live somewhere else, the residents would decrease here, so I guess that's something for you to take up. But I'd lastly,
and you know I don't want to lose you.
And I'd lastly like to say, I would like to thank you for the expansion of UE 5 Islands. I have benefited from it. I have also benefited from the scholarship, and I'd just like to publicly say thank you, and for you to continue doing it, because it really has benefited me, and I'm sure other youths.
Very well. We're also hoping too that as we clear these derelict properties, in fact there are thousands of them around, between Point and Villa and I think it's Otters, there are over 500 derelict homes. So as we clear them, we're hoping that the owners for the land will actually make those lots available to people who want to build their homes and do not wish to move out of the community. So that may be another option in which land may become available.
Thank you. Ariane, you know Ariane was our first Labour Queen contestant.
Good night, everyone. I would like to thank the Minister for the work that he's been doing in the community in terms of the cleanup. I would also like to add, there's another derelict home at the back of the house where I live, on Kentish Road. I would like to bring that to your attention, and if that could be cleared up as well. I saw that one of them was broken down on close to the stoplight. So I would like to know if you could look into that one as well, because it has been affecting us in terms of like the trees that are growing over into our yard, and also the debris and rats around the area as well. So I wanted to know if you would be able to look at that particular house.
Yes,
It's
thanks.
been abandoned for a while now.
Yeah, so we are going through, and we have a map. I have a map identifying where all the derelict homes are, and so we're going through incrementally. We're prioritizing those, just like the one you mentioned, that are right next to persons' homes that may be nuisances, rats, thieves, using them. Those are the ones that we're prioritizing, and so Ariane will definitely follow up with that.
Yeah, that as well, because a few months ago there was some material that was stolen from my parents' yard as well. So I would like to also mention about the security. I know that you guys have been working on opening a new police post around the area and stuff like that, but yeah, there's some other issues that have been occurring in the community in terms of persons like stealing and stuff like that from persons' yards. Yeah.
And that's exactly why we have increased patrols and the camera system. Yeah, thank you, Prime Minister. We're going to encourage more cameras to be placed, and they're duty-free. You can bring them in duty-free. We want to encourage all homeowners all over Antigua and Barbuda. They're very cheap. Put them so you can watch your neighbor's place and your own. The more cameras there are, they act as a deterrent for would-be criminals because they know that they can be identified when spotted having committed offenses. So yes, and that is why we have been able to identify hot spots, meaning where lots of crimes are committed, we know where they are, and we have increased police patrols. And as the Prime Minister likes to say, if you commit the crime, you will do the time.
Thank you.
And I'll add here that I just consulted, and the AG will agree to, that currently the policy is that these cameras, home camera systems, that the duty is exempt. As at tomorrow, all the taxes, duties and taxes will be exempt from these security systems. And we're talking about for homeowners.
That is quite correct.
1 second, Alex. Is it faithful? And I will come to you. Oh, there's someone in the back with the microphone? Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't see you.
Yes, good night. Can everybody hear me? Yeah, my name is Noel Howell. I was born in Golden Grove. This is the first school I went to when I was about 8 or 9. First school I went to when I was about 8 or 9 because I had traveled. When my parents brought me back to Antigua, they put me in school here in Golden Grove School. I'm proud to be from Golden Grove. However, I live in the States, and I want to know what is the government prepared to do for someone like me with this passion for my people. Passion. Antigua is full of talent. And I'm not talking about just people with money. I'm talking about people from the creative arts, in education. And sometimes it is so hard to get somewhere in life when you're trying because different people have different opinions of what they expect from you. Tonight, I just want to ask you guys, seriously, how can you help me? Help me. My nephew have something to say. Come here. Quick, no man. He's coming from a funeral. He's coming from a funeral for a 10-year-old. Right? That's why he's just like this. And he has something to say. I listen to what you have to say.
My name is Enoch Thomas, and this is my message. I heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. 'Cause you don't really care for music, do ya? But it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Answer my question.
Good night, good night, good night. This is Manny Bush. Knock on down, much man 17 on. Mr. PM, yes, question to you. What are you going to do about, I'm concerned about security in this country. I come to the military, and I hate to see how this country being with all this gun crime. My good officers, them, you can rehire back some ex-soldier ex-policeman, we don't have to wear uniform. Just put our way out there, take care of our way, and I'll do the job for you. And keep this country safe. Sometimes, all over this country right now, we need security. The soldier and the police need help. The country expand more now, and we need more soldier and police. My gender about police, I'm going to say I have a thank Comrade Joseph that sent me to Colombia 4 years ago. I'm going to take my child to the open heart surgery. And my child is happy, comfortable, things they never do before. He continue to do it. And he's going to same school here right now today. And I can tell you, Mr. PM, my agenda about security. I have a son, all my kids are them. I have kids in the UK, England, all over the place. That's me. And me tell you straight up, Mr. PM, we need help in security in this country. Just like we can get 120 nurses, we can do more with soldier. Later, some of them don't get no month salary, then they're glad to come back. Just call a meeting and say shopping numbers. We need soldier and police on the ground 24/7 in this country right now. If you have kick off door, we have kick off door. So PM, put that in the record and make her get something going.
Thank you very much, and I totally agree with you that we should take the fight to the criminals. But one of the things we need increased intelligence from the various communities, and even individuals like you to work among law enforcement intelligence. That is an area that we need to beef up. We have been expanding the police force. Up to recently, we added 50 defense force. But again, having a lot of bodies without intelligence clearly will not be as efficacious. Many of you in the communities, you know some of these criminal elements, and it's for you to share information. In fact, I was saying to the Attorney General and my cabinet members that we need to set up some methodology in which people can share information anonymously, because I understand one of the reasons why people are not sharing information is out of fear. But you are absolutely right that we ought to take the fight to these criminal elements. One of the things that we're doing as well is that we're expanding our surveillance. We'll have a 200 camera system installed within a matter of months, probably the next couple of months. We have already paid for most of it already. And the installation should start within a matter of weeks. And that will also help us to better manage the crime situation by beefing up on surveillance. And as I said before too, those of you who are interested in the home camera systems, because I think cameras can serve as a deterrent too. We're taking off all the taxes effective tomorrow. It was just a duty only. From tomorrow, all taxes waived for home camera systems. Now, on the issue of the performing arts, I agree with Dr. Howell that we have to continue to expand that ecosystem in order to harness the talents here in Antigua and Barbuda. And clearly, we have a lot of talented people here, a lot of talented young people. I heard the young man sing about a few weeks ago at the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party headquarters. Very talented young man. So what we're doing now, we're spending $20-something million to establish a performing arts center at the old Deluxe building, as I said earlier. And we're also acquiring the former Gloria's building next to it to create a training center specifically for the performing arts. And that facility will have a studio, a recording studio as well. So the young man could go there and record his composition. Even personally, I am making a contribution for my constituents and even people outside of my constituency, in that I'm also establishing the Gassy Dread Music Center, or studio, in which my constituents and others outside of the constituency will have access to very modern technology to assist with music and production. So we're very committed. We are investing heavily. We're expanding ecosystem. We'll be bringing in individuals as well to help us to train those involved in the performing arts. And it's not just about singing, even fashion and so on, because what we're trying to do now is to integrate the performing arts into our tourism product so that when people come here, they can partake in our culture in a more significant way, so that those involved too in the cultural aspects of our country, that they too can earn a living from tourism. So again, total commitment, and this is work in progress. I have also decided that I will put some personal money behind talented people in this country. I'm also a producer. So already I've committed about $200,000 of personal resources to go towards developing talent in this country.
Fantastic. So Faithful, the gentleman behind you, and then Alex.
Good night. Everybody know Faithful Kanagwasa. I mean that. I'm just here staying because it's the first time I'm having an opportunity to thank the people them that was responsible for my surgery. A gracious thank you. God bless you all and continued good work. Caring is sharing. Bless Prime Minister, my honorable, my brethren here, family. Enough respect.
Sorry, in the back, I'll come to you next. I didn't see you. So the gentleman, and then you, and then Alex.
Pleasant good evening to everyone. Mr. Prime Minister, and let me just say the panel to cut it short. Pleasant good evening. I just want to say it's nice to see you all giving some caring to this community. The responsibilities that Mr. Prime Minister and the Cabinet have been given not only to rural South, but on the nation as a whole. I commend you on a great job. You spoke about education, infrastructure, and different other topics, medical. Continue the good job. Now, with all this said, and the income you're having within the country, you need to see the money being spent wisely, strategically, and with responsibility. Now, Minister Daryll, you're rural South. I'm here, but I'm just across the road, rural North, but with a deep concern because rural South affects me on rural North. Sorry, St. Mary's North. Now, well done to the roadways and the waterways, Mr. PM. Infrastructure, fine. But there's a deep concern that I have. The water that run off from here on this one side, I'm just across the road on the main. I think, Mr. Prime Minister, somebody needs to see that your money is spent with great responsibility and care. Yes, our money. That's it, our money. Now, the water that runs off here, where I live, the culvert just after Christian Union Church, not to the church, the other one. The water that runs there, how they lay the culvert, the second culvert they put down, there's a problem. The water comes there, in front of the culvert, there are stones. So the water comes out and comes to the left. Instead of going straight, it flows to the left and it's eroding my property. It's a deep concern. The engineering has a defect. And it just takes anybody with common sense to see it has a defect. I needed Mr. Prime Minister. I sent a message at time to Point FM, and I think it didn't get raised, maybe because it came in later or whatever. But you would know the name, Minister Lackner. You would know this name. Okay. And so it's affecting my property. It's eroding. Years ago, I had to take my money and bring material from masonry products. I had to full back that whole area. Now, I'm trying to get it done properly, but because of that effect, what is eroding me? So, rural South is affecting me. I need that to be addressed promptly, please. The money needs to. Next thing, there is noise pollution in the area. I think there is a cutoff time, or should be a cutoff time. I think Yes, there should be a cutoff time, but at 2:30, there's still noise coming in the area that's affecting people's sleep pattern. Mr. Prime Minister, we need people with good mental health here. And if we have noise, you can't sleep, the next day you would be miserable on the job. Okay? Just to all of us, those saying, for this nation to get better, we need to get better. So let's, as people from the community and the nation, we expect the government to do for us. But we need to be doing for the government also. And that's my point.
Thank you for that intervention. I'm familiar with exactly what you're talking about, and so I'll get Public Works to seek to address it.
Thank you.
In the back, one
Good night.
Mm.
Good night. I have a few questions. One for the Prime Minister, Attorney General, and yourself, Honorable Daryll Matthews. Let me start with the Attorney General. I shook your hand, I think, about a week and a half ago. I'm the lady in the big black glasses that you saw, right? My issue is with the child maintenance at the court. Monies are being paid in, and monies are not being dispersed on time for the children's needs. I need you to have a look into that. I have since spoken to Ms. Simpson, the PS, and I'm not seeing any change. So that is something that needs to be looked into gravely, because myself and other mothers have that problem. I have 2 autistic children on the spectrum, one a level 3, one a level 4. And they need their money on time. So when the father pays in the money in the system, the money needs to be processed and then get down to the other court for it to be distributed so they can get taken care of. In hindsight, I'm thinking that the father is not paying the money on time, only to know that the money's paid, but it's taken a long time to be processed. Yeah. So there's an incident happened, I'm not going to get into that. Maybe when I see you in person, we speak about that. Okay. But I need you to look into that.
Okay, as a matter of fact, when you came and spoke with me, we launched an investigation.
No, I didn't talk to you. I just shook your hand. We didn't talk. So wrong person. Wrong person.
Never mind, you made a very good point. It's the same issue.
Okay.
Now, the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Simpson, looked into the matter, and she's spoken with the registrar, the deputy registrar, who's responsible for the family court. They're now establishing a system where monies are sent immediately, no longer than 24 hours from the High Court, down to the court where you can collect your funds. So that should not happen again. You and other persons who complain, we were very concerned. Mothers have been saying that fathers are paying their monies into the court and they cannot access the money. I know of your case because Mrs. Simpson discussed it with me and the registrar. So I can tell you that something has been put in place now. When the monies are paid in less than 24 hours, that money will be sent down to the other end so you can collect it.
Okay. My money's paid by check anyway. So there's a little bit delay. They say 3 to 5 business days. But let's see what happens.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Prime Minister, regarding, can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, all right. I'm February 7th. You're February 9th.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, then happy birthday to you also. Anyway, with the lumber, I've applied to the social transformation regarding the lumber because I've since done 2 surgeries, thanks to the government, 2 cataract surgeries back to back because I was blind in one eye for nearly a year. Nobody knew that. Okay, so I did one in June of last year and I did the other one subsequent in September. So I'm thankful to the government to that. I must say that. Okay? I'm in need of some lumber. I've applied. I'm still yet to hear anything.
No worries. Your representative will sort you out.
You take down my number, 783-6705. You know, February people. Daryll Matthew.
My dear.
Mr. Matthew.
My love.
You're not answering my calls. I have a problem with there are 2 things. Going back to my 2 children with autism. I've since spoken to the Director of Education, Mr. Brown. We are set to have a meeting, but I'm just informing you at this platform that there is a need for an autism center in Antigua. Too many children are born with autism from level 1 to level 4. I understand there's a level 5. We need an autism center. I see I have an orange building there. I think it's for special needs. I think that you've erected for special needs on this compound. Right. So we need to get that open. We need to get that open because the adult school and the school for the deaf are overcrowded. There is a need for autism center singling autism because there are different levels of autism. Yes, they're special, they are gifted, but there is a need for a center that focuses on autism. I don't think we should mix ants and bees together. When I say ants and bees, some people want to just ward them off to the adult center. I don't think that because me being in an environment, being an autism child, I'm not going to see any potential growth being in that atmosphere. So I'm applauding you. Please get that center open. And also, Mr. Prime Minister, you spearhead with him and we need an autism center open. Safety now. My tree at the corner, a little further from Julian, the gentleman that was speaking earlier. I can contest to the noise. There is a bar that's open there, and the rack-attack in my ear, and I'm a healing patient. I can't take that. I'm yet to call the police, because when I'm about to call the police, like, they can sniff that I'm going to call the police, and they lock it off. That thing starts on a weekend. They start at 5 in the afternoon until 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. That thing needs to stop, because it's a residential area, especially on a school night, which is like Sunday going into Monday morning. Nobody can get no rest. As my dear neighbor said, he has a problem, we all have the problem in that area. That tree in my yard that has been cut down by APA, I think it's thanks to you also, I need that tree cut down. I don't have no money to cut down the tree. I need that tree cut down because it's a hazard coming off of the hill and looking to your right, going to the college, nobody can see. I counted 3 accidents back to back to back last year because of that tree. With one of the accidents was with the police. The police was coming in their pickup, doing their business, and the lady ran into them. Right at that corner because she could not see that the police were coming, going into town, going north, and she ran into them. There's a crash there. Please fix the tree. I need that tree cut down. I have no money to cut it down. I don't have no money and I'm working.
All right.
Please cut down. And there are trees behind of me, safety-wise, behind of me that needs to be cut down.
All right, thank you so much. Just to address one issue.
And I'm going to put it to you.
Just to address one issue.
They're going to bring you tomorrow, no?
No problem, man. That's all right. That's all right.
All right.
I just spoke to the principal of the school here. The building that you made reference to, it's actually open. So I was quite yes, it is. The principal just confirmed that it is open. So I'm a little surprised that you're saying it's not. The same orange building on the compound
Okay, so
here.
what is the building? Let me confirm. What is it?
The building is used for some of the special needs children. Right? And I believe the counselor, where's Miss Joseph? The counselor uses it as well. So the building is operational.
Oh, because my son goes here, and he's on the autism spectrum. He's in grade 3. So he needs that, you know.
Right, just consult with the principal because she's...
Okay, we also need, and to end, speed bumps is needed on that main road.
Oh, the principal is saying you can...
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
In connection to the question that's been asked, we currently have a new building on the western side that houses the special needs unit or the program. It also houses the English as a second language program where we're catering to our Spanish students who are still learning the English language.
So to end my discussion, Mr. Daryll Matthew, on that stretch of road that passes in front of me from the college to the Golden Grove Primary School, we need at least 2 speed bumps. 2 speed bumps to control the speed. There are too many accidents happen there. Other than the 3 accidents because of the hazard of my tree, there are a total of 7 accidents happened last year on that main road.
All right.
Thank you
So
very
it's
much.
something I look into. I can't promise you'll get your speed bumps because I can tell you speed bumps also slow down emergency vehicles as well. And so the solution on the highways is not necessarily to keep putting speed bumps on the highways. So, but I do get the point you're making. We need to address
Something needs to be done then. If not,
right,
the
we
speed
need to
bump,
address
something.
it. All right.
Thank you.
Alex, you've been very patient. No, we need you to use the microphone so that it can go to the recording.
Good evening.
Oh, hold on. Okay. Bring.
Good evening. I've been
Okay, go
sitting
ahead.
here with the mic for
Yeah.
a
Go and
while
get the
now.
microphone and come. Hold on 1 second, JB. You can get the microphone so that you can speak after. I think so. You can. There's another one in the back somewhere. It's in the back. JB, go ahead.
Good evening to the head table. All protocol observed. I heard of this town hall meeting and I said to myself, I have to attend. I really don't ask for things for myself of government, because government is for all the people. But my patience has worn thin, Mr. Matthew. I spoke to you last week, Wednesday, in cabinet. And I want to say tonight, please, please, see how soon you can get Warren Road and Campbell Road fixed. Even some sugar cake. I live on Warren Road. It's about 500 to 600 feet from the corner to All Saints Road. And it has about 4 or 8 major craters in the road. Not potholes, craters. That my vehicle, I drive a truck. Just today I went to service and the list that the mechanic gave me for front end parts, when I replaced them less than 2 years ago, it's atrocious. Mr. Matthew, please, I beg you. I spoke to the Minister of Public Works at the funeral the other day because you asked me to speak to her. So I would hope that if not sooner, rather than later, that I can get some easement on that road. Before I continue, Mr. AG, the notion is that people must say something when they see something. I have been burned twice since living on Warren Road by seeing something and saying something. I saw a fella put matches to burn down a house next door to me. I called the police, the fire station. My wife called the fire station. I went and moved my vehicle from that side of the road. When the firemen came, I had already used my hose and out the fire. They took the gentleman to the station and they called me and asked me if I want to make a report. After I made the report, the next morning, they let him out. It was a weekend. By the Tuesday morning, when I came out, my vehicle was a different color. Right? He broke into a mechanic shop, a body workshop, stole a whole gallon of paint remover, and doused my vehicle. And it was because I said what I saw. So people are fearful. The other incident was my vehicle was parked in front of my house. 3 o'clock one morning, 2 persons with stolen goods in a vehicle smash up my vehicle right in front of my house. The police let them go after apprehending them the night. By the next day, they were let go. And they were absconded from this country and went back to their country of origin. I walked for months to the police station to try to get that rectified. Not until this day. My Jeep went for nothing. So people have to be careful in saying. The other thing is, people have been complaining about it. I've heard a couple of people mention it. The noise pollution. I know a neighbor who called the police and they asked her to give them her name. 2 days after she did that, her house was vandalized. People have people telling people, and I am sorry, Minister Benjamin, but in low waters, especially, the noise pollution is alarming. People can't sleep at night, right? And so we need to do something about it. I have represented Antigua and Barbuda abroad on numerous occasions when I was taking part in carnivals, sometimes at my own expense. Once, the Minister Greene will tell you that I was one of the representatives that would go off to represent Antigua. He was in part of carnival. And now that I am retired after serving government for 42 years, I think I need some peace and quiet in the night and also a distant road to drive my vehicle on. Thank you.
I can tell you this, Mr. Johnson, my friend. As we sat here and we heard the complaints about the noise, the PM looked at me and said, we have to do something about that. We heard the complaints. We hear you. And we will do something about that noise pollution. The PM heard, whispered to me, and something will be done. But please do not say you're fearful. I can understand, if what you say is correct, that your car was vandalized, etc. Try and get some assistance. Bring in some private security cameras. No taxes will be paid. The PM just indicated. The Minister of Finance just said, private security can be brought in, cameras, no taxes will be levied upon those goods. But Mr. Johnson, I know you. You're a good community man. Do not close your eyes. Speak up and let us work together to solve that situation completely. Okay?
Good night, everybody. My name is Philip Sylvester. I have some problem with some land behind this stadium. I buy from Mr. Baptist, and it's a serious problem with me and my land. I can't get nothing to do on my land. I finish grading down, and it's a problem with me behind the stadium. My son come from the States. We pay a portion of money down on the land, and we have a serious problem. We get back and grade down the land, ready to do what we're doing. When we went back there with our material, the road block off. It block off, and we can't get to do what we want to do. I paid the first $35,000, and I have a serious problem. I can't get to do what I have to do. I buy the land for my grandchildren. His mother died. No father come up till now. My daughter died in the corona, in the COVID. I buy this piece of land for my little grandson. No father come up till now. My grandson is 4 years. Me and my son live in the States. We come down, he come, I pay the first set of money, then my son come and pay $10,000. And it's a problem for us to get to do what we have to do with the land behind the studio. We grade it down everything, put it back on it, we get the paper to continue. When we went there to go and start to do what we're doing, the road block off.
I completely understand what you're saying. You aren't the only person in that situation. Because the person from whom you bought that land is subject to police investigation right now. All right? You aren't the only person who suffered that fate. That gentleman from whom you purchased that land is the subject of police investigation. And I can tell you, we'll do all that we can to bring that man to justice, because you are not the only person to be suffering from that type of affair. All right? We'll do what we can. The land was blocked. The land was blocked because the owners never... Well, anyway, I won't say much more now. It's just safe to say the matter is being dealt with right now by the police.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Whew.
You've been waiting.
Oh, you see, patiently. First of all, tonight, Mr. Benjamin, I want to address you on this issue as well. I have a few cases here with some of my colleagues that I would like to bring to you as soon as the show is done. Okay? The question is, it's not a question, it's a point that I have been asked to ask my leaders in my Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party. The Spanish community in general would like to see if, as soon as they get the temporary residence, we have an issue with it. Because for a person to, and correct me if I'm wrong, as soon as you be 4 years in the country, you'll be eligible to apply for temporary residence. or residents. Thank you. So, but the question is, why does the community or the Dominicans cannot travel to come back to Antigua with their residents? I was abroad with it, and I promised I was going to bring the issue to my leaders, and we would like to see if you guys, please, begging you tonight for that situation, would like to see if it can be correct.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
I understand. That is a flaw in the law which will be corrected. Because once someone has a residence stamp,
yes,
they should be free to go and to come back without a problem.
That's what we want to listen.
I've heard that problem, and I'm certain that the Prime Minister will remind me on this, and Mr. Chet Greene, on Wednesday in Cabinet, we'll have to make a policy from the Cabinet governing that situation, because a lot of persons, my friends from the DR,
yes, sir,
are afraid to go home because for them that means nothing. So we shall do the right thing. Once you have acquired residency status,
yes,
you can work.
Right.
Exactly, you should be able to move as well.
Right.
So we shall raise that on Wednesday and make a policy, Mr. Prime Minister, on that matter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
In fact,
Yes,
I
sir.
want to suggest that we go further. Individuals who have residency should be given a residency ID card. Absolutely.
Nice. That's what we're here for.
That's it?
Somebody want to ask a question? No. I'm not asking individual cases. We're going to take it up with Mr. Benjamin as soon as we're done.
I saw a hand in the back somewhere. No?
Have a good night, Honorable Minister. Good night, everyone. I have two questions. My first question is, I applied 2 years ago about citizenship. So if when I do, or when anybody do the interview for citizenship, the personal immigration say is about 6 months, 1 year, right? Why waiting 2 years, double time, sometimes 3 years for people to get the citizenship? After that, plus the time to do the processing in office passport. What we do about this? And what the government do about to the parking in town? But no parking in town, and anyway, you parking 1 ticket. What we do about this? 1 ticket.
Well, the alternative may be paid parking. Anyway, on the issue of citizenship, invariably, they are processed within a year. However, there are times when the application is incomplete that would result in delays. What I want to recommend you do, that if there are individuals who are waiting beyond a year, get us a copy of the receipt that you'd have gotten from the passport office, and we'll follow it. But almost invariably, where the documentation is complete, it is processed within a year.
So I have everything, minimum document saved. So my case is not incomplete. Every time I ask, it's processing. Give me a reason. Too much time.
Well,
and it's not only me. Plenty people have that problem.
I am aware that in some instances there may be derogatory information on the person. And in that case, they may politely say to you that it's delayed. But it could well be a situation that it will not be processed because of derogatory information. if in your case or in any other that you have no criminal conviction, any issue of any criminal wrongdoing, and it goes beyond a year, get us information. You can bring it to my office, and I'll follow up and ensure that it's executed. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions before we seek to wrap up? No? All right. Just as we give our closing remarks, AG, perhaps you can start the ball rolling in just a wrap up, and we'll come down the line.
I'm very happy to have been here this evening with you because I'm very comfortable being with you here tonight. And I want you from the DR to understand certain things. This government being so thoughtful that from the 1st of January of this year, persons from the DR, persons from CARICOM will no longer be required to pay for work permits.
Yeah.
We are granting an amnesty, and therefore, to get a proper census going, the people who are going around asking for questions, please answer the questions, because that's how the government gets its information to plan for schools, for hospitals, etc. So give the information. And when the amnesty has been announced, those of you who for one reason or another did not go to immigration to regularize yourself, please go. Because we're making it easy. It's going to be for about 2 to 3 months in the first instance. Go there, regularize yourself, be counted, so we can think about you when we plan for the children, for hospital, for schools, and what to take care of you. Now, remain united as you are. Relate to comrade, my friend Matthew, and make sure that you give him your complete and total support.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Yes, we are.
Because
complete.
He's concerned about you. He speaks about his constituents all the time. And he too is concerned about the noise pollution. And as I said before, the Prime Minister was very concerned. He whispered in my ear, something will be done about the noise pollution in the area. Amen. It was wonderful being here, wonderful ground. Thank you very much for having me here this evening.
There you go.
Today, tomorrow, and forever.
Thank you, Minister. Let me say, like I started, a pleasure being here with you in the Road South constituency. The demographic has asked to speak to tonight. We'll close tonight as we started earlier. Matthew Ayer.
Matthew Hoy.
Matthew para siempre. Muchas gracias.
Yes,
buenas noches.
Bien.
Friends, good evening again. And I've always said, and I started off by saying this evening, ask your questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Because if something affects you, I want to know. We want to know. I've heard you. JB stepped outside. I am familiar with this issue with the road. And I'm sure now that he's highlighted it even further, we'll address it almost immediately. There are real issues in the community. And I'm happy that you ventilated them here. I will say to you, as some of you already know, every Thursday, I'm at the office on Tyndall Road. I used to come in the midday hours around 12, 1 o'clock. I'm going to start to come at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when persons are home from work. So from 4 o'clock in the afternoon down into the evening, I will be at the office. You don't need to make an appointment. I will give you my number. You can message me. I might not be able to answer your calls all the time. But if you message me, you will get a response. 764-1269. The office is open from Monday to Thursday. And on Thursday afternoons from 4 o'clock, I will be at the office. 764-1269. So thank you very much for coming out this evening. I really appreciate your continued support. I encourage you to take some ownership and help me help you. Let us love where we live in this constituency and do our best to keep this constituency the best in Antigua and Barbuda. I'll turn over to the Prime Minister for parting words.
Yes. Thank you very much, Minister Matthew. Let me thank you and your team for organizing what is clearly a very successful consultation. I want to thank each of you for your attendance and certainly for your participation. And this is our way to engage you in a form of participatory governance that will ensure that we better understand the issues affecting you, and at the same time for us to account to you for our stewardship and for you to even hold us accountable. So again, thank you to everyone, and thank you for the ideas that you shared with us. Be assured that we have given certain commitments and that they will be addressed. And just to state here that the issue, for example, of the residency card for permanent residents, we will make sure that you get those cards in the future. Give us a few weeks to arrange that and to alleviate that situation in which immigration are asking you for a visa to travel back in the country when you already have residency. So we'll correct that situation. And even the issue of noise pollution, the AG will ensure that we get the police to address that issue, but we ought to appeal to those who are running these establishments to be more empathetic to the residents, understanding the need for them to have adequate rest and to confine or conform themselves to the laws of Antigua and Barbuda, which requires them to turn down the music from 11 p.m. So again, thank you very much. We really sincerely thank you for this town hall meeting in which we've been able to share ideas, and be assured that the representative is committed to empowerment, and I ask you to continue to give him your full support. Thank you very much.
Before you go, ladies and gentlemen, our Youth Development Officer has a quick announcement to make.
Good night, everyone. My name is Kaisha Joseph, Youth Development Officer for the constituency, along with the executive members of my youth arm. We're going to have a Black History Month debate competition right here at Golden Grove School, right in this room. And I'm encouraging everyone to come out on February 28th, support the youth. For persons who might want to sign up or have their children sign up, I have a QR code here that you can scan and sign up. So encouraging you all to support it, 28th of February from 4 o'clock p.m.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a safe journey home, and God bless.